Okay, I'm recording now. Thank you for joining me for our advanced construction, our week 2 lecture. Let's go ahead and take a look at our slideshow for this. Okay. And if you've already been online in the class, you've noticed that we will be pulling from both textbooks, both Sewing for the Apparel Industry and our Pattern Making for Fashion Design. This is standard. You all know about the attendance credit. Okay, so this round you are coming up with your dress design and pattern development. You'll be making the muslin dress, fitting it on your dress form. There is reference to your linings and backings. That is in the sewing book, talking about those type of things. Depending, I'm not expecting your dress has to have these sorts of things, but I want you to be aware of some dresses do, jackets, coats as well, include those. And then I'm going to talk about contouring and torso sloper foundations here in just a moment. Okay, so due dates. We do have some things that are due Thursday, just so that I have a little bit of prior idea of what you're trying to do, as well as if along the way you're having some questions. And, you know, like with some of the ideas here for your design sketch, I'm able to offer you some feedback prior to you trying to finish the whole assignment, so that it hopefully makes it a little easier for you. But we've got the Pinterest board, which would help me get an idea of kind of what you're thinking, the sketch you're doing, technical line drawings. They're also important, not only for just making sure that we're developing those skills, but it helps you kind of break the garment down into the pieces and hopefully visualize what you would be doing on the patterns. Then you're developing your pattern for the dress. The remainder of this, the sewing of the muslin and the finished dress, roll into week 3. So this is a project that spans 2 weeks. All right, so in general, a dress based on our basic sloper. This dress would have a waistline seam. If you're using the basic slopers like what we used in intermediate sewing when we did the pattern for that top. And if you can see up close in this dress here, we have a little interruption right about the waist. So if you can visualize that half of the front bodice, because remember the front would be on the fold, the neckline has been curved and scooped out. There's no sleeve on here, so our edges would probably be finished with like a facing or bindings. Those are 2 different options, and you did them in the sewing of the dress you did in basic construction. Then this lower half of this skirt, it looks like it's gathered, and so that would be an example of added fullness. You all did those pattern manipulations in your first pattern making class, and you did the gathers as a sewing sample in your construction class. So, you know, here is one, and the basic sloper you could do that with. Here's another example of a dress kind of made from the basic sloper. Again, we have a division here at the waistline so that hopefully you can visualize the top bodice, which would actually be done as you would trace both sides of the bodice, the left and the right, as one full front, because you would be crossing over for this angle here over towards the dart on the other side. Same thing with the front skirt. It would be cut as 2 pieces. And then here in the back, you could see that's actually on the fold with that. But the main thing, what I'm pointing out here, is the waistline seam. Now, some of the students in the class may have already had Pattern Making 2. In Pattern Making 2, we do develop a torso foundation, which is a combination of your top bodice and the about the top 9 inches of a skirt. These 2 dresses pictured are some examples of dresses based on the torso sloper, which means there's no waist seam line at the waist. Now, if you were to design a dress that didn't have this waistline, then you would have to make your torso sloper first before making that type of design dress. So in essence, what I'm saying is, if you haven't had your Pattern Making 2 class yet, stick with a option that would have a waistline seam. Even if you haven't had your pattern making class, but you were to want to take on the extra work of making the torso foundation, you can and do that. But that's where I'm just kind of saying, make sure you're prepared for what it would take to make the design you're intending. Otherwise, pick a design that's within your realm. There is also something that we cover in Pattern Making 2, which is what's called the contour sloper. And this would be if you were going for a dress that had a big, deep V-neck or deep curved neck, or even strapless tops here. And the contour sloper is some changes that you make to the sloper in the bust area, which allows the garment to conform to the ins and outs of curves of the body. Again, if you haven't had the pattern making class, understand that any of these types of designs would pose that challenge for you to make the contour bodice. Now, in this course, I have provided a demonstration for either doing the torso or the contour sloper. You do not have to do those as an assignment. You only have to do them if your design would require those. So if you're like, I really don't want to take on the extra pattern making for the slopers, because one, you'll be doing it in another class, then stick with the design that has a waistline seam, where you're making a bodice and a lower skirt part and combining them at the waist is what I'm saying. So on the photograph, or I'm sorry, the sketch for your design, the reason why I want approval is, one, I want to be able to get an idea of what it is you're attempting to do. I've got students each doing something different. So, I want to see, what are you doing? And then by you being able to try and point out in the book where you see what changes you need to make by the patterns, I have a good idea. Are you on the right track? Are you visualizing what you picked out, or did you pick something that isn't going to give you what I think you're visualizing? So it's just basically a means of communication in that. And so that I can also, help guide you to parts of the book that would give you what you drew here. And then so far, everybody's really been doing a good job on the pictures. I think I put this in here because I did have some students that were still giving me very distorted pictures, which was very hard to see. So so far, I do have to say everybody's doing some good straight on shots that make it much easier. All right, so oh, I see I still have Tuesday here. The design sketch is Thursday. I changed on that earlier slide. Looking through your textbook, if you pick patterns that already are showing the manipulations in the book, it makes your job easier. Developing your technical line drawing of your dress, that will be in your design sheet. And then in week 3, we do have you go through the exercise of costing the garment as well, because that is definitely something we want you to feel very comfortable with being able to do come the end of this program. You'll make a muslin of your dress design to figure out if you nailed it, or if there's some minor changes to the patterns you'd like to make. You can do that at that point before then investing into your fashion fabric to do the dress out of. Job costing the dress and illustrating the dress, those last 3 or 4 tasks here on the design project are actually week 3's focus. Now, I provided some examples of some dresses and sketches that students have done in this class before. This was Sarah Twyman, and she did a kind of a flared dress. So if you go back to your pattern making, in pattern making 1, you did it in half scale, and we stopped at the waistline. But what she did was extend that down the length that she wanted it. And if you can see where it falls from the bust level into flare, which is, you know, kind of hanging there, is almost like triangles that hang straight down. She also did sleeves, and then she took on making a collar. You also did collars in your pattern making class. So she put it together here, did a seam down the back with a zipper in the back. Her initial sketch had pockets, but I think at the point after figuring out her little cuffs, either she ran out of time of doing the pockets or just decided not to do them. But I think they'd be adorable on here. This was another student, Lisa London. She did the flared skirt, which again was a basic pattern manipulation you did in half scale. Her front, she did a kind of a boat neckline or straight across neckline. Otherwise, it finished at the armhole edges. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, but she just kept it as the waist darts. But in the back is where she really kind of made it a very interesting piece, cut out the style line, did away with everything in the center, main part of the back, and left a little bit of a lower piece here and the zipper to go, sorry, down center back through this area and into the skirt area. And I think with this design, she kept it very simple, but by mixing up a little bit of a lace laid on top of the shiny satin, made it very, you know, texturally a very interesting little dress. And then I had another student who really took on a contoured type of garment here. I will say she had had some sewing before, so she felt comfortable taking this on. But overall, it was a slim fitted dress done with princess style lines. Actually, right here in the up close one under the bust, you could see it was cut under the bust and then style lines. She still actually followed pattern manipulations in the book. And you can tell, though, from this final dress, compared to what the sketch initially was, she kind of made some changes along the way, and that's okay. That's part of the process, the design process. I may start off with an idea or my sketch, and my final one may be very different. I think she had the idea here for the dress, sketch-wise, but as she got into the book and was using it to help guide her through some of those, she decided to just kind of change placement of the seam lines, style lines, and she found this trim that she wanted to use as trim on the dress, but then also as the straps in there. So that is it on my slideshow. Stop sharing. So Amanda, how do you feel on that? And I do apologize, I hadn't had a chance yet to look on sketches to see. You said you did already turn in.
I just turned it in when you were probably doing lecture, so it's my fault.
Oh no, you're all right, because you actually have until tomorrow.
I'm a little bit nervous now after seeing those examples. I'm not gonna lie. You know how bad I feel about sewing. It makes me nervous, but I'm gonna try. Okay. I did use Illustrator though for my design sheet, which actually I had to email to you because for some reason it wouldn't link in Course Connections.
Okay.
So I did email that to you.
Okay.
I don't think I have any other questions. I still need to finish the pants. Which I'm trying to do. I actually looked at my schedule wrong. I didn't realize we had stuff all week, and we can't drive ourselves. They're not letting us. So we have to be at bus stops like 6:45 in the morning for meetings that are at 8 o'clock. And like I told you yesterday, I had a drug test, and it took 3 hours. I did not think it would take that long. So,
oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, you said that we could use, this is when I have all my stuff out, the patterns from the first pattern making class, because I haven't taken pattern making 2 yet.
Yeah.
So we can kind of make them a little bit bigger, make them full scale.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're making them full scale. My reference in the work that you did in that pattern making class just was you've been exposed to that manipulation. You only did it at half scale. You could do the exact same thing at the full scale.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then I'll look up what was the dresses you said again? You said blousson and the other one.
Yeah, caftan.
Okay.
And I can't remember. I don't remember if they spell it with a K or a C, but CAFTAN or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a student in class right now. She's kind of doing one. It's really almost like a big, loose, oversized kind of t-shirt dress, but you get the right kind of little belt and do it out of some fashion fabric. It could be really a cute little look. And then because that's sort of a simplified kind of shapes, consider, is there some trimming that maybe you put on or some cute little, patch pocket or something that.
I do have pockets on mine.
Awesome.
In the front, there's 2 little pockets. Do we have to turn in our muslin for next week, or is it just for us to see if we need to switch to anything? I haven't looked at next week yet.
Yeah. Yes, I think there are some photographs of the muslin you take.
Yeah. Wednesday. Yeah. Okay.
And do you have somebody there then that can snap a picture of you?
Yeah, my roommate. She's in the other room.
Okay, great. Because you're your own dress form, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which makes me nervous. But I'm the same size as the dress form, so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll keep you updated if things go. On Friday, I have a training all day on Friday. I don't think I'm starting work this weekend, but I don't know about Disney, so we'll see.
All right.
And then next week's lecture, you said that we need to set up a time with you. Do we just email you?
Yeah, because I figured with that, since everybody's kind of doing their own design, we're better off if if I just have the meeting with you to talk about your design. I have a meeting with Haley and I have a meeting with Sierra, just so that I'm answering questions, see where you're at on things and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll email you then. It'll probably, I don't know what time slot they gave me. I still have that time slot. I guess I'll find out whenever I get my schedule. So
yeah,
I'll let you know for sure. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.